on the amounts exclusive of VAT, of the amounts inclusive of VAT, and also how to calculate the VAT portion. So I'm going to use a certain formula to do that. Best way, let me just share the entire screen. So I'm going to teach you how to calculate VAT. There are certain concepts that you need to understand. What is VAT? It's also another type of tax that is collected by the government. Okay, apart from pay as you earn, they also have to get what we call VAT, value added tax. Currently in this tutorial, I'm going to use 15% as our uh, VAT percentage. So I'm going to use 15% throughout my exercise. I know the VAT changes 14%, 15%, and 15.5%. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use 15%. And who is supposed to pay VAT? So for you to qualify, okay, we're supposed to pay VAT, everyone. As long as you are a customer, you are required to pay value added tax. But who is supposed to collect VAT on behalf of SARS? Those that are registered as VAT vendors. So who qualifies for VAT vendors? We have different individuals who can register as VAT vendors. We have those that register compulsory, and we also have those that are complied to register as VAT vendors. So if your turnover is equal to or else more than 1 million, you are required by SARS to register as a VAT vendor. Okay, so what are the things that you are required to know? So I'm just going to pull out my Excel spreadsheet. Why? Because this is where we're going to do more of the things. Okay, so I'm just going to have this as a side as well. Okay, for our VAT, what is it that you require to know? How do we calculate it? For me, I make it simple. Why? Because I use what we call a table formula. Okay, so without wasting any much of your time, let's just go straight to it. Okay, so this is my part inclusive. Okay, inclusive. Yeah. So I'm going to deal with different categories. We're going to have VAT exclusive amount. We're going to have VAT inclusive amount, and we're going to say the VAT portion. So going to see how we're going to calculate it. So in this scenario, I'm going to have my percentage, and then here I'll have my rand value. Okay. So there are certain things that we already know. As I mentioned earlier, I said my VAT is on 15%, something to take note of. And then my VAT is always calculated on the VAT exclusive amount. Okay, so I need you to take note of that. Your VAT is always calculated on the VAT exclusive amount, and your VAT exclusive amount plus your VAT portion should give you your VAT inclusive amount. So it's something that you need also to take note of. So let me just try to make it a text. Okay, make it a text. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so I think I'll just have to write it somewhere else. So how do you get your VAT inclusive amount? So this is also another equation that you need to take note of. VAT inclusive amount that's equal to your VAT portion plus your VAT exclusive amount. Yeah, your VAT exclusive amount. This is a very important equation that we are required to master. Why? You see, when we are doing the VAT question, that you need to know this equation in order for you to find the missing component. And as I said, this is already known, 15%. right? But I said your VAT is always calculated on the exclusive amount. So this is our 100%. I have already given you a formula how to get your VAT inclusive amount. I said you must say your VAT portion plus your VAT exclusive amount. So therefore, this part we already know your VAT exclusive amount plus your VAT inclusive amount. That's your 115. Then there will come questions where you are required to calculate your VAT portion. So let's visit that. Okay. So I always want to stop share so that when I share, you will have all your pages required. So let's just bring the question in this scenario so that we can be able to see how best can we get to our VAT portion. So I have created this question. Some of you already know it. So we're going to calculate the missing figures. So we need to complete this table and to determine either you're determining a VAT portion or else you are determining a VAT inclusive portion. So let's start by solving A. Okay, so I have also named this missing figures. So it's A, B, C, D, E. So we're going to start with A. With part A, we are given the VAT exclusive amount. So formula, as I said, so I'm going to plug in my amounts that I have. So my VAT exclusive amount is given as 439.45. Okay. And then the VAT inclusive amount we don't know. And the VAT portion we also don't know. So we need to determine these two missing figures. These being A and the second one is B. Okay. It's given as A and B. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to write my A here. So how do you get A? Okay, mathematically, what you need to do in order for you to get part A, you must say what you're looking for. Okay, so let me just put this formula here. Okay, let's assume that we need to determine A. So you must say what you looking for you divide that. Okay, let me just use the order as the division. So I'm going to divide by um what we already have, and then we multiply by the amount provided. So in this scenario, we are looking for part A, that is our VAT portion. But we already know that this line is complete. So therefore, you need to look at the vertical line that is complete, because actually this is easier. We already know that this is 15%. It is guaranteed that this is 100%. Why? Because our VAT is calculated on the exclusive amount. And for us to get this one, we just add the two. So that's easy. Now, we need also to find the row that is complete. So the first row, the VAT exclusive one, is the one that we have the percentage and we also have the rand value. So therefore, what it means is this is what we have formula. So this is what we have. This is what we have. So therefore, when I'm talking about what we have, I'm talking about the denominator of the first line of the exclusive line, because that's what we have. So what does that mean? So when you are calculating your A, okay, so for part A, we're going to say 15. Okay, let me just do it here. For part A, we're going to say 15 divided by 100, because that's our base. What I'm going to do, I'm going to write 15 divided by 100. Okay, so you need to use the base of what you have. And I don't want this to do an auto calculation. So I'm going to say A is equal to 15 times divided by 100. And then you need to times this by 439.45. 45. Okay, in order for you to get your VAT portion. So quickly, we'll say 15 divided by 100 times 439.45. So that's 65.91 is our. All right, so this is how we calculate our VAT portion. So the part A is done. So now getting to part B is now easy. You can either do exactly the same. Okay, I use the small letter B. So let me use small letter B throughout. So with part B, it's equal to what we don't have. That's 1115. We do not have the rand value of that. So that's what I mean when I say what is it that we are looking for. Therefore, you need to type that. Okay, so let's just fix my looking. Okay. What we're looking for is the rand value of the VAT inclusive. So therefore, we must take the percentage of that VAT inclusive. Then we divide that with what we have. So now you have two options. This part you now know, this part you now you have. So you choose. But I always say, okay, not to confuse you to remember a lot of things. I'm still going to continue using my VAT exclusive amount. Then you multiply that by 439.45. Then you get to your answer is how much? Let's quickly see how much we get over 100 times 439.45. Okay, so I get my answer is 505.37. You can either decide to put it two decimal places to three decimal places or else round it off to the nearest rand. Okay, so I'm not going to do the round up today. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let me just quickly do the round off to the nearest. So it will be 65.91. Okay, and then for the VAT inclusive amount, it will be 505.36. There is also another alternative for getting B. Remember, we said, okay, we said your VAT inclusive amount should be calculated as follows: your VAT portion plus your VAT exclusive amount. So in order for us to get B, we could have just said your VAT portion, that is 65.92, plus your VAT exclusive amount that is given to us as 439.45. Then these two should have given you exactly the same answer as 505. So you can choose. Once you get one, once you have only one missing figure, it's easier to get the other one. Okay, so this is second option for part B. So don't get confused. So let's move on to the part C. With part C, we don't have the. Okay, so what I'm going to change is only this column. Why? Because we already have this part. It won't change because our rate is always 15%, and then our base always 100, and then of course 115 is our VAT inclusive. So this part won't change. So what we're going to change is only this side. So let's look at part C. So with C now we don't have the exclusive amount. So we need to determine the exclusive amount, and we also need to determine the VAT portion. Yeah, should be small letters. Okay. And then this part we do have it. So we have it as 900.3.15. You can decide which one do you want to start with. I didn't say put it to two decimal places. But anyway, it's now rounding up my figures. Okay, let's just leave it like that. 0.15. So in short, you need to determine your C and D. So I'm just going to go according to the order. So I'm going to start with C. Okay, so my C will be equal to, remember we said what we're looking for. We are looking for the rand value here, right? So it means I'm going to use the 100%. So I'm going to say 100 divided by what we have. This is the column that is complete, so therefore I'm going to take the denominator as the percentage of VAT inclusive. So you can't divide this by the rand value. You need to divide it by the percentage as well. So 100 divided by 115, and then of course we multiply that with the rand value provided, 003.15. Okay, so how much is it going to be? So that's a quick one. For the formula, 115 times 9003.15. So it should give me my VAT exclusive amount is 7,828.83. Then now it's easier for me to get D, right? Remember we said your VAT inclusive plus your VAT exclusive plus your VAT inclusive, it's equal to your VAT inclusive. So when you're looking for the VAT exclusive, it means that you just have to work it backwards. So working backwards, it means that we're going to minus. Okay, so working backwards, it means we minus. Okay, so you could have just say 9,003.15 minus. Okay, let me just do that quickly. And then I'll put all formulas. So it should have been 9,003.15 minus your 7,828.83. This should give us our answer. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this in yellow. The other second alternative of calculating this um, VAT portion. So it's going to be your 9,003 minus your 7,000, and it should give us our VAT portion is 1,174 and 32. What is the other formulas? The other formula will be your 15. Remember, this is our VAT portion that we're looking for. We divide that by 115 because this time that's our complete line where that's what we have, and then you times that by 9003.15, then you should get exactly the same answer. Okay, let me just do the next one. So with this table, you don't need to remember whether should I divide, should I multiply, should I divide, should I multiply. The reason why I'm not teaching you shortcuts is because I want you to remember the long way, something that makes sense. Then after you do your shortcuts. So on E, okay, right? Oh, so E is the amount that we have. So I just wrote E there. So let's go to F. With our F, we do have the VAT exclusive amount. It's how much? So I'm just going to replace here. It's 120.50. And then our, and that's all. We don't have the VAT portion. We don't have the inclusive amount. So in short, this is exactly like the first one. So how are we going to get that? Of course, you must have 2 in order for you to minus. So I do have my VAT exclusive amount. So let me just start with the VAT portion. So I'm going to say 15 over 100 is the 100 is what I have. Because why am I saying that? Because I have my rand value is 120.50. Okay, just to calculate it quickly using the formula so that we don't have Okay, so now I see what happened. My formula just went away because I used the formula, remember? So let's fix this quickly. 3 point, uh, 3.15 minus 7828.83. Yeah. So I'm going to say my 15 divided by 100 multiplied by 120.50. That should give me my VAT is 18 rand and 8 cents. Okay. So let us just do G. Okay. So with G, it's equal to, now it's easier, but let me just use the long formula. My G is the inclusive amount, that's 115 divided by 100. We times that by 120.50. So therefore, will be G 115 over 100 times 120.50. That gives us 138. Let's do H. So with H, the same principle, we do have the inclusive amount. We don't have the exclusive amount, but we do have the inclusive amount is 2150. So how do we calculate that? Remember, we don't have this, we don't have that. So let's start with our amount exclusive of VAT. So it's going to be 100 over 115 times 2150. Okay, let's get our rand value. 50. Okay, how do you get that? Equal to your 100 divided by 115 times 2150. So that gives us 1869. H, let's go for I. I is our VAT portion. I is our VAT portion. How do we get that? Our VAT rate is 15% divided by 115, what we have. And then we multiply by 2150. That should give us how much? Times 2150. That should give us 280 and 43 to two decimal places. Let's move on to J. Okay, so with J, same principle again. First thing first, we need to complete our table. So with J, we only have VAT. We only have VAT. We don't have the VAT inclusive, we don't have the VAT exclusive. So the same principle, which one do you want to start with? Okay, let me just start with my VAT exclusive amount, that is our J. Okay, so with the J, I'm going to say, where is J? Okay, so with the J, I'm going to say this is my cost, right? So therefore, I'm going to say 100 over 15. Why 15? Because actually we do have a rand value of our VAT. Then we times that by 21 rand. Okay. So how much does it give us? So our but exclusive amount is going to be 140 rand. So let's just go for K. Okay? Our K will be equal to, okay, K, we do have it. So I think I was numbering too much. Okay, I need L. Okay, so with L, it's going to be our VAT inclusive amount. Therefore, it will be 115 divided by 15 times 21 rand. Okay, 21 rand. Okay, so that should give you how much? Should give you 151 is your VAT inclusive amount. Let's move on to M. M is our VAT portion and N will be our VAT inclusive portion, and we only have the VAT exclusive portion. So let's fill our table again. Our 680.75 is our VAT exclusive amount. So let's just do our VAT portion, okay? Our VAT portion, that's our M. I put a capital letter that will be equal to your M will be your VAT portion. So therefore our VAT percentage is 15%. So we're going to say 15 over 100 because our complete line now is VAT exclusive amount. We'll multiply that with the VAT exclusive rand value, that is 0.75. That should give us how much? So that's your 19 over 100 times 680.75. That should give you your VAT portion as 102.11. Okay, then we also need our N. Our N is our inclusive amount. So with our inclusive amount, our inclusive rate is 115. We divide that with our base, that is our 100 times 680.75. How much do we get when we simplify this? Yeah, let's see how much is the VAT inclusive amount. So it gives us 782.86. Then let's move on to the other one, the next one. We don't have the VAT exclusive amount. We don't have the VAT portion. And we only have the VAT inclusive amount. Okay. So how do we do that? So we're going to say our O. So this is 0. So what is our O? Our O will be equal to our, that's our VAT exclusive amount. Let's just complete our table. Our VAT inclusive amount is 14,122.69. Okay, so the O is going to be our VAT exclusive amount of VAT percentage is 100. We divide that by what we have, that is 115. We times that by 14,222.69. Okay, my table above there is rounding up. So I'm just going to use the exact amount I have as per question, 115 times 14,222.69. And then let me just do the last one, that is our P. Okay. So at least I can leave some for you to just also check whether did you understand. And then of course you need to put that in a comment section, and then we'll see if you have learned something new. So our P is our VAT portion. So we're going to say 15 divided by 115 times 14,123.69. So it should be how much? That's 50 over times 14.6. Okay, so it should give us our VAT portion is 185.56. Okay, so based on this question, this is our solution to the question. Let me just copy the question too, so that it can be pasted together with the solution. So let's just do this, and then we put the question somewhere right here next to our solution. So let's just up a bit, because I need to also round this to two decimal places so that at least you know. Okay. Say two decimal places. Then of course our answers, I need them a little bit bigger. That will be fine. That's board. So this is our answers to the question. If you have any questions, any issues, anything that you need us to address, please don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more updates from us. So this is the VAT calculation. There is really no other way that will ask you this question. It's either the amount is VAT inclusive or the amount is VAT exclusive. Then you are required to calculate the VAT portion. So how do you calculate that? What you're looking for and divided by what we have, and you times by the amount given. So what you're looking for divided by what you have, and then times by the amount given. So in short, this is it for our VAT exercise. Good luck, and then we'll meet again for our markup. Okay, so tune up for the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.